A corrupt cop took $600 from a diner. Two state investigators saw it all. The sealed bank bag behind Odessa Boone's register contained $600 and carried the number H4719. Her merchant ledger carried the same number. Harrow County had no public safety fund authorized to receive the cash. At a corner booth, Samuel Boyd's concealed recorder was already running, while Nathaniel Cross held a coffee cup and watched the front door. A county form would soon call the payment voluntary. The bag, the ledger, and the recorder would show otherwise. Sergeant Wade Kincaid believed he was walking into another routine collection. He did not know the two quiet customers were state investigators. Nathaniel had arrived that morning in a navy polo, dark jeans, and a rented sedan with ordinary Virginia plates. Samuel wore a gray jacket over a plain shirt. Nothing about either man identified the Virginia Office of Public Integrity. That was intentional. Two insurance representatives had finished breakfast 20 minutes earlier. Their brochures still sat near the sugar dispenser. A local roofing contractor occupied the booth by the window with a bid sheet open beside his plate. No one had asked them to register with the sheriff. No one had asked why they were doing business in Harrow County. At 9:27, Odessa Boone opened the cabinet beneath the register. She removed a clear bank bag sealed with a blue tamper strip. $600 sat inside in counted bills. The bag number was written in black ink beside the same amount in her merchant cash ledger. Saturday deposit. That was the description Odessa used, because she could not bring herself to write Wade Kincaid's name. The bell above the front door moved once. Sergeant Wade Kincaid entered in uniform. Deputy Luke Fenner followed 2 steps behind him. Odessa placed the bag on the counter. Wade did not ask about breakfast. He did not inspect a fire exit or review a business form. He checked the bag number, folded the plastic once, and placed it inside a black patrol document pouch. No receipt changed hands. No county form appeared. Wade looked at Odessa. Everything quiet? Yes. Good. Let's keep it that way. Nathaniel watched the pouch disappear beneath Wade's arm. Samuel's hand remained beside his fork. The recorder sewn inside his jacket had already marked the transaction time. Wade turned from the register. His eyes passed over the contractor near the window, then stopped at the corner booth. You two working in the area? Nathaniel set down his cup. We're having breakfast. I can see that. What kind of work? Is there a business matter you need to discuss with us? Wade pulled a county-issued phone from his belt. Out-of-county contractors are supposed to register through the business liaison office. Samuel looked toward the roofing contractor. The man lowered his bid sheet and began stirring coffee he had not touched. We're not contractors, Nathaniel said. Then proving that should be simple. Wade held out his hand. Identification. Nathaniel removed his wallet slowly and passed over his license. Samuel did the same. Luke carried both cards toward the doorway and read the information over his radio. The response came back clean. No warrants. No holds. No investigative notice. Luke returned and placed the licenses in Wade's hand. They're clear. Wade did not return them. He set both cards on the counter beside the patrol pouch, close enough for Nathaniel to see and too far for him to reach without standing. Then Wade opened a mobile contact form. Contact type. He selected unverified commercial presence. Nathaniel looked at the screen. What observed conduct supports that category? Wade kept typing. You came into a local business with a laptop case and out-of-county identification. The man near the window has a contract proposal on his table. The roofing contractor folded the bid sheet and slid it beneath his plate. Wade did not look at him. This review concerns you. Odessa stepped closer to the register. They ordered food. They haven't approached anyone. Wade placed one hand on the document pouch containing her money. Odessa, I would hate for parking enforcement to notice the delivery lane behind your kitchen again. The delivery lane was empty. Odessa looked at the pouch. She stepped back. At County Dispatch, Systems Specialist Tessa Morgan opened the contact record. She saw the clean returns. She saw there was no named complainant. She saw Wade had created the commercial category himself. Tessa opened the audit pane. She did not export it. Wade pointed toward the front door. We'll finish this outside. Nathaniel and Samuel placed cash beneath their plates and stood. In the parking lot, Wade stopped beside the rented sedan. "Open the vehicle." "I do not consent to a search," Nathaniel said. Wade's thumb was already moving across the form. "Verbal consent obtained." He turned the screen toward Luke. "Initial there." Luke had heard Nathaniel's answer. He placed his initials inside the confirmation box anyway. On Samuel's recorder, the refusal remained clear. On Wade's form, consent had already become official. Wade Kincaid opened the sedan's trunk before Nathaniel Cross finished repeating his refusal. The latch lifted. Inside sat a duffel bag, a laptop sleeve, and a clear travel organizer. Wade moved each item onto the pavement while Luke Fenner stood beside the county phone. "Search basis?" Nathaniel asked. "Commercial fraud prevention." "Form number?" Wade unzipped the duffel. "It's already documented." Samuel Boyd kept both hands visible beside the rear door. The transmitter beneath his jacket continued recording the search and the traffic passing on Millstone Avenue. Wade opened the laptop sleeve. No stolen checks. No counterfeit cards. No business contracts. He found 2 charging cables and a blank legal pad. "You drove into Harrow County with locked phones and an empty computer case," Wade said. "That raises questions." Nathaniel looked at the mobile form in Luke's hand. "Your record shows consent before you asked for it." Luke lowered the screen. Wade stepped closer. "Unlock your phone." "No. That device may contain business communications. It is private property." Wade removed the phone during a pat-down and placed it on the cruiser hood. Samuel's phone followed. Both screens remained locked. Wade entered another line. "Subjects attempted to conceal commercial purpose." Luke watched the text appear. He had heard no sales pitch, seen no customer approached, and received no complaint from Odessa. He said nothing. Wade moved behind Nathaniel and pushed one forearm against the cruiser. Samuel's right hand tightened. Nathaniel saw it. "Keep the sequence intact." Samuel released his fingers. Wade mistook the sentence for surrender. He added a third entry. "Consent later withdrawn." The audio inside Samuel's jacket held the actual order. "Search request. Immediate refusal." Vehicle opened anyway. At County Dispatch, Tessa Morgan watched the contact form update in real time. The first field showed verbal consent. The audio index marker showed the refusal had begun several seconds earlier. She opened the audit pane again. Wade's entries appeared beneath his employee number. Luke's initials converted the form from draft to officer confirmed. Tessa moved the cursor toward export, then stopped. She had stopped before. 2 years earlier, a complaint against Wade had been reclassified before the morning shift ended. Tessa had seen the original entry. She had trusted someone else to preserve it. By noon, it was gone. In the parking lot, Wade removed his cuffs. "You can cooperate now, or I can hold both of you until Monday while we verify what you're doing here." Nathaniel looked toward Samuel. The threshold had been reached. Samuel pressed the tactile switch sewn beneath his jacket seam. One short vibration confirmed transmission. At the Virginia Evidence Vault, the operation file changed status. Intervention threshold met. Physical restraint. Threat of extended detention. False consent record active. A preservation notice went to Director Elise Maddox and the Harrow County Dispatch Console. Tessa's screen changed first. State hold original entries required. Her desk phone rang. Sheriff Paul Drummond's name appeared. "Change the contact to a consensual field interview," he said. "Remove the business payment reference. Use anonymous caller for the source." Tessa looked at Wade's original category. Then at the consent timestamp. Then at Drummond's live edit request. She selected State Mirror Export. The original contact record left county control. So did Luke's initials. So did Drummond's instruction. A confirmation code appeared before Tessa answered him. "I can't alter a preserved record." Drummond stopped speaking. The county radio activated moments later. All Harrow units at Odessa's morning table preserved the scene. No further searches, no property movement, no record edits. Quote, Wade looked at Luke. "Who authorized that?" Nathaniel straightened away from the cruiser. "My name is Nathaniel Cross. This is Samuel Boyd. We are investigators with the Virginia Office of Public Integrity." He did not display his credentials to the diner windows. He handed them to Luke beneath the cruiser camera. Luke read the agency name twice. Elise's voice came through his radio. "Deputy Fenner, locate Sergeant Kincaid's patrol document pouch." Luke looked toward Wade's front seat. The black pouch lay beside the console. Inside it was the sealed bank bag, H4719. The number matched Odessa Boone's merchant ledger. No treasury receipt existed. No county fund existed. Wade called it a community contribution. The state treasury search returned no program, no account, and no lawful reason for him to possess $600 from Odessa's register. Inside the diner, Odessa exported the counter footage. It showed Wade taking the bag before he questioned Nathaniel and Samuel. It showed no donation form, no request, no voluntary offer. When the state system expanded the business liaison code, 13 earlier visits appeared. Not one contained a treasury receipt. 8 complaints against Wade had been closed by Sheriff Drummond with the same sentence. Voluntary contact, no policy violation. This time, the original record was already somewhere he could not rewrite. The state licensing hearing began with the sealed bank bag beneath an evidence camera, H4719. The blue tamper strip remained intact. Odessa Boone's merchant ledger showed the same number beside a $600 Saturday withdrawal. Avery Beckett stood at the document table. Wade Kincaid sat with counsel on one side of the room. Sheriff Paul Drummond occupied a separate seat behind him. Nathaniel Cross and Samuel Boyd were not placed across from either man. The hearing was not arranged as a confrontation. It was arranged around the record. Avery opened the county business liaison entry. At 9:27 that morning, Wade had selected community outreach. He had described the cash as a voluntary safety contribution. The county treasury had no safety contribution program. No account existed. No receipt had been generated. The counter footage showed Odessa removing the bag from beneath the register. Wade checked the serial strip, folded the plastic, and placed it inside his patrol document pouch. He left no form behind. Odessa had not offered a donation. She had responded to a recurring demand. Avery displayed the merchant ledger entries from previous months. The same amount had been removed on the first Saturday of each month. The bag numbers changed. The recipient did not. The hearing officer struck the phrase "voluntary contribution" from the county finding. The replacement language was direct. Cash obtained through misuse of official authority. Avery moved to the parking lot contact. Nathaniel and Samuel's identification had returned clean. No named complainant existed. No contractor report had been filed. No business had accused either man of fraud. Wade had created the unverified commercial presence category himself. Then came the consent field. The mobile form showed verbal consent obtained. Samuel's recording captured Nathaniel saying he did not consent. The system timestamp showed Wade selecting the consent box before Nathaniel finished the sentence. Luke Fenner's initials appeared beneath it. The later narrative contained another entry. Consent later withdrawn. Avery placed the audio waveform beside the form. There was no consent to withdraw. The vehicle search produced no evidence of a crime. Wade had still entered attempted concealment of commercial purpose and threatened to hold both men through the weekend. Drummond's intervention came after the state preservation notice. Change the contact to consensual. Remove the payment reference. Use anonymous caller. Tessa Morgan's State Mirror export preserved the instruction before any county user could carry it out. Drummond's attorney described it as complaint harmonization. The written finding called it attempted alteration of preserved evidence. The financial review expanded to 13 business liaison visits. None contained a treasury receipt. 8 businesses showed recurring cash withdrawals during the same weekends Wade appeared. 5 owners supplied statements. 3 had retained deposit bag serial numbers. The total entered the record as money obtained under color of office. Wade was terminated for cause. His law enforcement certification was revoked. State prosecutors charged him with extortion, unlawful search, deprivation of civil rights, and falsifying public records. He later entered a plea covering the business collections and the search outside Odessa's morning table. Before accepting it, the court required a factual basis. Wade stood beside his attorney and answered 4 questions. Did Harrow County authorize a safety fee collected in cash by deputies? No. Did Odessa Boone offer the money voluntarily? No. Did Nathaniel Cross consent to the vehicle search? No. Did any business complaint exist before Wade detained the two men? No. The clerk entered each answer into the permanent record. The court did not permit the payment to be described as outreach, support, or contribution. It was entered as restitution owed. Luke received separate findings: failure to intervene, false attestation of consent, improper confirmation of an unsupported contact. His certification was suspended. He lost field training authority and promotion eligibility. Every search form carrying his countersignature entered external review. He was not treated as the architect of Wade's scheme. He was still held responsible for supplying the signature that made Wade's version look complete. Drummond was removed from command. His administrative credentials were disabled before he could close another complaint. When he entered his password at the records terminal, the screen returned 2 lines. Access revoked. Records under external custody. An outside receiver took control of the complaint archive. The state opened an obstruction case based on his reclassification request and the earlier suppression of complaints against Wade. Drummond was barred from holding another public safety supervisory position while the proceeding remained active. He could no longer decide who investigated him. Tessa received a written finding for failing to preserve earlier edit histories. That finding remained in her personnel file. So did the protected disclosure notice showing that she had exported this record before Drummond could replace it. The county adopted new controls. Sworn personnel could no longer accept cash, gifts, or contributions from businesses. Every county payment had to move through the Treasury portal and generate a receipt before an official visit. An officer could no longer select verbal consent without proof. A search now required a signed form, a recorded affirmative response, or a documented legal exception. A refusal locked the consent workflow. Business contacts required a named source, observed conduct, and a stated county purpose. Complaints involving command staff transferred automatically to an outside reviewer. Original classifications, consent entries, and edit requests were mirrored to the State Integrity Archive. Local users could add explanations. They could not replace the original words. The restitution process used merchant ledgers, withdrawal records, and sealed bag numbers. Bag H4719 was opened inside the evidence room. The money was counted beneath a fixed camera, entered into the restitution schedule, and assigned to Odessa's claim. The other business owners received treasury payments supported by their own records. No confidential agreement renamed what had happened. Several months later, Odessa closed the diner after the Saturday lunch shift. She counted the register and placed the deposit inside a new, clear bank bag. She sealed the blue strip, wrote the serial number beside the bank route, and checked the amount twice. A bonded courier entered through the side door. Odessa examined his identification. She matched the route number on his device. He signed the receipt before touching the bag. Odessa handed it across the counter. This time, the money left her business through a system that recorded who received it, where it was going, and why it had been taken. This is a fictional story.